Yo, hey guys, what is up? It's JJ Tech here, back again with another video. And today I've got you the iPhone 6s Plus in rose gold color versus the newer iPhone 7 here with this nice, forgot the color, what was it? Matte black, I believe it was. Matte black color. So these two are going to be facing off. See which one's better and which one you should buy. So with no further ado, let's get into the video. Yeet! Alrighty, so today we're going to be comparing both of these phones like I had said, and I'm going to start off with the boring stuff, the technical stuff out of the way first. So I'm going to start off with the iPhone 7 here. The iPhone 7 has so I got to look on the screen, an A10 Fusion chip, which what that means is it's going to be really fast. And for the people that don't know what that is, it's going to be really fast. And for the resolution of the display, it's 750 by 1334 resolution here for the display, which is not extremely high, but since it is a smaller display, it's going to look really sharp. Alright, so that's the only specifications I'm going to say for the iPhone 7. And now to the iPhone 6s Plus. Now for the iPhone 6s Plus here, we do have an older chipset, which is the A9 chipset by Apple, which what that means it's not going to be extremely fast anymore, as this processor is like 5 years old already, but it's going to be pretty decently fast. And the display resolution is a bit higher at 1080 by 1980, and since it is a bigger phone, that's why it needs to be higher resolution. So now that the specs are out of the way, let's get to the more funner stuff, the design, which is better, which one should you buy, which one should you just trash, and let's get started. Alright, so starting off with the iPhone 7 Plus. As you can see, we have a nice sleek design here, nice matte black color, and these come in various colors, of course. This, of course, is the matte black. Let's get the nice light there. There you go. Nice Apple logo there. And it's a pretty nice design. Now, if you like designs like this, go for the iPhone 7. Now, as for the iPhone 6s Plus, it's a little bit similar, but obviously a different color. They're both metal in the back, but as you can see, the iPhone 6s Plus has these little white lines, which, if you don't know, they're called antenna lines, which are used for your service, your 4G LTE service. And these iPhone 7 does have it, but they are tucked away to make the design a little bit more cleaner and slicker, unlike the iPhone 6s Plus here. Now for the front of the displays, don't mind the cracked screen here. It's a little bit cracked. Yeah, it's a pretty long story why it cracked. Alright, and as you can see for the iPhone 7, perfectly clean condition. And as you can see for the front, pretty much exactly the same, just one is white in the front. But as for the design and the looks, it's pretty much similar in the front. I don't know if you can notice, but the speaker in the front is a little bit longer on the iPhone 7 compared to the iPhone 6's right here. And that's because the iPhone 7 has stereo speakers. And stereo speakers makes the sound much more immersive, unlike the iPhone 6s Plus here that we've got, only has a speaker down here and no speaker up here. So when you're listening to content, the sound's gonna just be coming out of here and you're gonna be covering it with your hand, which is kind of annoying. And that's where the iPhone 7 is just better, because you're holding like this, even though you're covering the speaker holes right here. At the top you still have a speaker, which is really convenient when you're like listening to some kind of chat or YouTube videos or a movie. Alright, now to the cons of both of these phones. Now the first con is there's no headphone jack on this phone, and a lot of people should be used to it at this point. None of the newer iPhones have a headphone jack, but if you still dig that headphone jack, the iPhone 6s Plus does have it here at the bottom. As you can see, we have no headphone jack to be found on the iPhone 7, which is kind of a disappointment for myself because I like my headphone jack. Now for the pros of these phones, it's good stuff, and that's for the cameras. Starting with iPhone 7, the camera has one camera on the back, but it is extraordinarily good. I'll have some samples here shown on screen of the iPhone 7 camera just to show you how good it is. And for the front facing camera as well, it's pretty good. It has a 7 megapixel camera and has a 12 megapixel camera on the back, and that's when the iPhone 7 got the upgrade to the 7 megapixel camera, unlike the iPhone 6s Plus, which we'll get to. Now for the pros of the iPhone 6s Plus is the camera. It's a little bit of a weak point just because it's an older phone. You know, it didn't get that new sensor that the iPhone 7 has. It does have a 12 megapixel camera as well, but it's definitely not nearly as good as the iPhone 7. Like I said, I'll show up some samples here on the screen so you guys can see how the camera looks. And for the front camera, that's where the disappointment is at. And the iPhone 6s Plus has a 1.2 megapixel camera, which is just extremely horrible. I'm just kidding, guys. It has a 5 megapixel camera. It's not that bad, but it's still pretty bad compared to the iPhone 7s. It has a 5 megapixel camera in the front, which if you're a selfie taker like this, it's not that good. It's just really bad in darkness. So if you're gonna buy it for selfies, don't buy this phone. Just don't. Now another pro I did miss on both of these phones is that pretty much every iPhone has this, but I thought I'd mention it anyways. It's a little switch on the side which you can switch to vibrate or to sound, which pretty much every iPhone has had since day one, but I thought it's something I'd point out for the people that still don't know. Oh yeah, guys, and I forgot to mention, as you can see, the setup's a little bit different. I kind of moved the table to another wall, so it's like a white wall back here. So definitely drop a like and subscribe and comment and let me know if you guys like this new setup I'm trying to work out here. Because you know, I don't want to make the videos boring for you guys and have the same setup every single time. I don't want to get you guys bored, so yeah, definitely comment and tell me what you guys think of the setup. Back to the cons for each phone, I did forget to mention something else once again, and that is none of these phones have wireless charging, unlike the newer iPhones. For example, the iPhone 8 Plus and above have wireless charging. This is something that these phones just don't have because it is metal, not glass. So what that means is that you can't put a coil inside this phone because it just won't go to the wireless charging. So if you really dig that wireless charging, none of these phones are going to do you well. And I forgot to mention the screen sizes for each of these displays. We got a 5.5 inch display for the iPhone 6s Plus here, pretty big, but on today's standards that's pretty okay. Now as for the iPhone 7 here, we do have, I believe it is a 4.7 inch display. Yes, it is a 4.7 inch display, which if you like small decent phones, this is going to be a great one for you. Unlike this big chunky phone here, that if it's too big for your hands like myself, as you can see my hands are pretty small, so this phone right here is just perfect for my size, and this phone is just way too massive. I don't really like that, but I do like big phones still. Now to forget to mention the RAM on this phone. This does have 2 gigabytes of RAM, and this one also has 2 gigabytes of RAM. And what that means is when you have many apps open in the background, it's going to be able to handle it pretty decently. As you know, Apple optimizes their apps better than Android in pretty much every way. As you know, Androids need to have like 8 to 9 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot, and so you shouldn't be worried in the RAM department. It's going to be pretty good. And I did forget to mention that these both have Touch ID. No Face ID like we do have on the newer iPhones, such as the iPhone 10 and up. This does have the old school Touch ID, which a lot of people might prefer because it's just so much better than Face ID. Because when you're Face ID, you know, it doesn't really pick it up most of the time. You're in a dark room, sometimes it says, oh, I don't pick it up, and this pretty much all the time will pick up your finger. All you have to do is place it on there and it'll open right up instantly. It doesn't matter if you're in the dark or in the daylight, it picks it up anyways. So something to note if you don't like that Face ID of the newer iPhones, you want to go back to the old school routes of Touch ID. Now before I go, I know I posted on my Instagram account that I said I was going to do a comparison between the iPhone 6s Plus and my T-Mobile Rebel Plus, but I thought, you know what, why do it on a budget phone compared to, I guess, a more flagship phone, when I can compare it to an iPhone 7, which is probably the closest thing to the iPhone 6s Plus. But still, definitely drop in the comments down below if you guys want me to do that video anyways. I think it would be a pretty interesting matchup. So yeah, definitely drop it in the comments down below. Definitely subscribe, like the video, and follow my Instagram account right here at JJTech123 so you can get the latest news, reviews, and more. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.